Hello Tubesters, it's Gav and welcome to another one of my videos. This is take 2. What are we looking at, Gav? Yeah, that's it. Eureka 18mm Westphalian Guard De Corps. They're from their AB range. They were originally French Carabineers. You know, the ones with the breastplates, the white jackets, sometimes blue if they didn't, if they weren't wearing their white dress ones. The clients, this was the regiment that got him into Napoleonics, and although it never saw action, it's always stayed with him that he'd like to someday, you know, have a. He said he's even going to field it on the tabletop battles. It's not just going to go in his collection because he does war game them. The stuff that I paint for him, and yeah, it's been a lot of conversion work, actually, more than I anticipated. So what I've had to do, and I'm again should have wrote this down and I haven't, done my usual. I drilled out the fronts of the reins are always filled in with metal in the casting process, and I drill all those out where applicable. There's a couple of poses that the neck actually goes forward, so you don't have to do it, but on the whole I drill all those out, occasionally drilling the sides of where the bit, you know, I think it's called the metal bit anyway. If there's a gap that can be seen, I try and drill those out as well, just a couple of holes through. They were carrying a carbine. Now the Westphalian Guard De Corps, from what the Rawkins book says, they didn't carry the carbine when they were mounted. It was only for when they were doing guard duty around the Royal Palace or whatever. So I've ground all those out with a Dremel, and then lots of filing just to try and smooth it out where possible. What else have I done? You sometimes get some infill metal around the scabbard of the sword and the boot. Sometimes you leave it because it is that close. It's literally part of the sculpt. And occasionally it is just infill metal, so some of those have to be drilled out depending on the pose. The French Carabineers that they used to be have full cuirass, so full breastplate with a back plate as well. The Westphalian Guard De Corps only had a front plate, apart from, I believe, the officers that may, well, and I've left it like this. I'm about to start, I'm just finishing. I've got, there was another pack of what you'll see on the tabletop in a minute, and officers and trumpeters, and I've just got the horses. I've painted all the horses bar the trumpeters, which I'll do tomorrow, and all the tack on them and everything. That's the leather bits, and then I can start on the figures and the shabriquet, which is the blanket that goes over the horse. So yeah, ground off that. Also, we're going about the breastplate, aren't we? So I've had to get my files out and file the back of the breastplate off to try and look like it's, you know, when I paint it blue, it's part of the jacket. I had to make plumes for the horses, for the riders, because they carry white plumes in the helmets. So that was a piece of garden florist wire, a small drill hole into the helmet itself, and before that I make them out of green stuff, put them onto the helmet, and then I've usually got a bit more I still have to infill round once it's the glue's dried off and that. So made the plumes for them, manipulated some of the sabre carrying. I took the sabres off and put metal ones on. They're not brilliant, but I don't do a lot of this stuff, so I only improve in small, you know, small ways. I'm not great at doing the metal sabres and that, but I do my best. And I've been manipulating some of the arms on them just to, you know, just slightly vary the pose, because there's usually two poses, and just to make them look, you know, just that bit different. I just try and manipulate without breaking the arm off. I'm doing this and you can't even see, but you know, I move the arm around, and I've done them in the full dress, so as well as full dress as I can, because I believe they would have wore white jackets, but we put them in blue, in the dark blue, as if they're going with the monarch to because they used to escort him, because there was only a couple of hundred of them. It wasn't even really what you call a full regiment. But they've got braids through the horses' manes, and rosettes on either side of the bridle, and then down the horse's mane. They've got as it threads in and out. So I had to green stuff little rosettes for the sides, and the bottom of the mane has one, and also the end of the tail on the harness, it has a rosette there as well. I've done the troopers in yellow, and I've done, because the shabraké, the horse blanket, was done in yellow, with the officers being in the bullion gold type colour. So I thought, with no other real thing to go on apart from a couple of period watercolours, I've gone with keeping the troopers yellow, and the officers I'm going to do in like metallic gold colour. And I think that's it. Anything else? Oh, bar I thinned out the shabraques. I've left some slightly out as if they're moving in in the wind. That's the horse blankets again. And I think that's everything. I hope it's everything. Oh, the epaulettes. They've got, the Carabineers had epaulettes on. The French Carabineers had epaulettes on, so I had to. These have got like the inverted ones. There is a name for it, and it escapes me. But yeah, I had to file those off. Apart from, the officers would have one or two depending on the rank, and then the other one would be an inverted one. And the trumpeters, after I started removing them all, then if you've got the resources, check them. And I didn't, and I've had to green stuff a load of epaulettes back on, and including a couple of the officers as well. Anyway, that was it. It's just in case anybody wants to do them. Now, I would say, if you're going to buy these as French Carabineers, be aware, these are the ones I had. I had boots, the front of the boots missing, so where the toes are, through the stirrup. I had probably 3 out of the 2 packs. I had 3, maybe 4, where the boots were missing on one side. I also have had a fair amount of what I call clag, so small pieces of metal stuck to like the shabraques and that. I've also had horses' ears missing. I had about 5 horses' ears on one side again, and I can only put it down to that the moulds are worn out. I don't know, but they're the ones that I had. So if you're doing the French Carabineers and you've never done this type of, I don't mean converting them even, just if you want French Carabineers, just be aware they're the ones that I had. You may have others that are completely okay, but I had these, and you're going to have to do some green stuff work and a fair bit of filing and scraping to get the clag off. I won't go into it. I don't want to get negative, but yeah, just in case you want to do it, just be aware you might have to put some work in to get them up to where you want them to be. And if you haven't done it before, it's just something to bear in mind. So let's get down to the bench and take a look at what I've painted and converted, green stuffed, filed, cut, shunt, all that stuff. Right guys, thanks for joining me at the bench. These haven't been any varnish, clear coat, whatever you want to call it. It's a modelling world these days, it tends to be called clear coat, and the wargaming side of it tends still to be called varnish. Right, these are my little fellas. I'm almost running out of battery, so I think I'll get this done. See where the yellow is on the horses' manes and that. The carbine would have been on that side, and I've filed that away. So, some are better than others, I'll admit that. I've more or less kept the horses in a dark colour. Oh, that was the other thing I had to do. I had to green stuff. They have a big sunburst on the front of the breastplate, which is half covered. They've got black strapping. Again, if you've got references, use them. Gav decided the first 4 For some reason, unaccountable only to Gav, I would have painted them white. And I've no idea why I did that. And then it suddenly dawned on me, hang on a minute, I don't think they were white, they were black. And they were. So they got repainted. So yeah, it's a black with a gold sleeve, bullion sleeve, whatever you want to call it, around the outside of the cartridge sleeves, straps, whatever you want to call them. Not a lot to do on the faces, obviously, because they are, obviously got chin scales round and stuff. The only thing I haven't done, there's a small, as there usually is, like a rosette at the base of the plume. And I'm going to try, I'm not going to green stuff it now, I'm going to just see if I can paint a dab on. If I can't, it'll have to stay off. You're never going to see it anyway, but the helmet's completely like white metal, and the it has some like brass scroll work on it, which I have tried to replicate, you can see there, by putting a bit of black down first, or brown, and then putting a bit on just to try and make it stand out slightly. You can't really see it even there. I did debate to leave it off completely. I won't go through every one, but done some black ones as well. My sunbursts, they don't look at them too much, and also they seem to vary in size, to ginormous to little piddly ones. So there we go. There isn't any insignia on these Chabriquets, by the way, apart from Rawkins says that there's some reference that the musicians, i.e. the trumpeters, did have a small, I don't know if it's a grenade or not now, encased in a little yellow square, so I'll do that on those. But even the officers don't seem to have any, symbols on the side. So and it's like a white, off-white, cloak, inside being red. So I've just done it where the red's showing through there, just as a bit of difference. So thank you very much for stopping by and taking a look. Hang on, let's just hold one up just while I'm talking. Almost out of battery. This is a quick one. I've got a quiet 5 minutes in the house, so I thought I'd get a video up. And that's been the main. And also I'm flitting between projects at the moment, and I'm not getting, as usual when I flit, there's not a lot of progress to show you. Like the 1 in 16 figure, I've done his ankle gaiters, and the weekend I'm going to paint the trousers hopefully, but that's as far as he's got. I've been working, doing an hour and a half, couple of hours a night for the last few nights on the Royal Fleet Auxiliary scratch build of the Light Fleet tanker from the Royal Fleet Auxiliary, the Black Rover, which will be having a video coming up probably in the weekend. I've been working on one of my Infinity Cyberpunk figures. That's one of the, if you've ever Corvus Belli Infinity, you probably don't know it, but it's a war game set in a couple of 100 years in the future. It's off-world cyberpunk, lots of shiny uniforms. Hang on, let's just get him over, it'd be easier to see. There we go. That's what I'm working on at the moment. Well, not at the moment. I just do like 20 minutes, half an hour, and in between projects. I'm still working on these antennae on the back here. Did that last night at about 12 o'clock. So yeah. So there's other bits going on as well, but it's mainly at the moment. Most of my energies is going into getting this commission done. Probably won't be finished before Christmas, but we live in hope. I've got 2 units to do after them. I'm not going to go into them now because I honestly can't remember what they are with my busted memory. They are Napoleonics, I just can't remember. I think they're Saxon. He's got a large Saxon infantry units and the artillery that I painted for him over the last few years. But it just shows what you can do, if you set your mind to it. Get the angle grinders and angle grinders, but the Dremel out, and with one of them routing bits on. If you want to remove stuff, just be real careful because you'll be removing arms and everything else at the same time. But files, scalpels. Obviously, this is my videos are for over 17s, 18s anyway, whatever they're supposed to be. But obviously, if you're a youngster, get somebody else to do it. But yeah, you know, you can do most things. These arms, if you manipulate them slowly, his arm wasn't there before, and it's been manipulated up. So I drew the line I did think about moving heads, and I just thought, no, that's. I have done it in the past. I just didn't think with what we're doing here, it didn't really bring anything to the table. So yeah, there we go. So look after yourselves. Thanks for stopping by and watching one of my videos. Thank you very much for all the goodwill shown with the likes and the comments. To those that have been enjoying the military history quiz that I've been doing on the community tab, we're going to be doing number 3 today. That'll be going up at some stage today, and then the answers as usual the following day. I'll just do those when I've got time to do them, when I think of questions pop in, and yeah, questions pop into my head. But you know, there's not a big pickup with that. But for those that have been enjoying it, I'm quite happy to keep putting them up. You know, it's you know, we all learn together. Test yourself, and then just obviously see the answers, or go, as I was saying, encourage you to even just go and look them up on Wikipedia or whatever. You know, and just learn a bit more about that particular question, really. But yeah, it's just a bit of fun, and you know, if you're into military history like I am, you know, it's just something to test yourself on, really. I do try and mix them up, as I say, you know, try and put you know, couple of ancient questions in there. Obviously, World War II is always popular. I will be doing a Great War question, as in First World War, on this one, because I haven't. But I'll be flitting backwards and forwards. I've decided. I mean, I'm going up to another obviously thing that I like reading about and looking up is the Vietnam War. So I'll be going up to the Vietnam War and all the conflicts, or to the end of the Vietnam War, and all the conflicts that obviously riddle that era back to ancient times, really. So it could be anything, whatever Gav decides to come up with. It's funny reading the answers, because it's like, you know, it's so abstract. You know, from one thing, then it jumps to a bloke's name or somebody's name, then it could be a tank or an airplane or a ship, you know. So yeah. Anyway, if you're enjoying those, I'm glad, because I enjoy, you know, putting the questions up. So thanks a lot, and as I say, there'll be a video on the RFA Black Rover light tanker, and I'll have that up in the next few days. So look after yourselves, and we'll see each other soon on another video.